With the various annual conferences and exhibitions that take place showcasing South African talent, it's no wonder that more and more designers are nurturing their skills and craft to produce high-quality, proudly South African designs.
For many years, South African design seemed to just emulate what was happening internationally. We didn't have our own style, we didn't have our own signature, but that's all changed. Recent year, with a new breed of designers coming through, we're taking inspiration from what's around us. We're looking at new ways and taking a little bit of inspiration from overseas, but creating our own products. People all over the world are after and looking at this wonderful South African contemporary design. From color to shape to style. We're still on trend. We're certainly on international trends, but we're interpreting it with a local flair and a local flavor. From furniture, which is handcrafted, to lighting, through to fabrics, which is an exciting development in the industry. We're seeing some of the most exciting international designs coming through.
Textile designers are creating a range of knitted and printed fabrics that you can use around the home, from scatter cushions and sofa covers to carpets, rugs and wallpapers. Textile designers inspire many collections, trends and styles to help keep your home decor up to date and stylish.
Textile design is just such an unbelievable product to work with in a design direction, because you end up with something that is so textile. Colors are unlimited. And you have the beautiful textures that you can work with. And I think that's really the best of all of the design elements for us, because you're also capable of creating a product that other people will take and create further with in the form of upholstering objects, of curtaining. So it's really something that is very rewarding. What is very important for us is to actually take something that people can recognize. So, in other words, taking from our surroundings. South Africa is so diverse and it has so much to offer in the sense of color and culture and patterning, that it just made sense to start around us instead of always looking outside of our frame of reference. And we also wanted to tap into a little bit of the nostalgia, and often you'll see that in our designs we try and kind of capture something that will make people look at it and say, "Ah, I remember that," or just kind of have a smile because it's a little bit funny, even though it sometimes stings a little bit, the message that it sends. But it's really taking things that people are already familiar with but beautifying it and giving it back to them in something that they can use in their homes.
It's important to create products that the South African market can relate to, taking a look at the color palettes, designs and themes that South Africans want as part of their home decor is essential, as they want pieces that will tell the story of our rich heritage, and most importantly, accent pieces that will add color and definition to an interior space.
We're definitely seeing important colors with the Pantone color of the year, Masala. We are seeing a little bit of a new interest again in oranges that we have felt. It's earthy. It's also a very African color, and African colors are really important at the moment. We are so happy that the whole world is actually recognizing African design again and realizing that it is phenomenal and that it is relevant globally, not just here in Africa.
Textile designers are focusing on using natural, rich textures and colors to produce unique and eco-friendly products, using a pool of local talent. All these elements help to reduce the impact that the product manufacturing has on the environment.
What is very important for us is that we work with natural fibers. We work with cottons, linens, rami linen combinations, and we can also print on pure silks, even though we see that silks have become a little bit less popular at the moment. Our process is a hand silkscreen process where we use water-based inks and we print onto the natural fiber. Our textiles are mostly sourced locally, and we also make use of local dyers to come up with really unique colored fabrics that is all done here in South Africa.
Handmade products also contribute to job creation and skills development. The production of these items is more labor-intensive than mass-produced products, but the human touch is what adds character.
big focus in fabrics at the moment is all about color. Especially locally, we're seeing a lot of bright colors being used. We have bright sunlight in South Africa, so why not flaunt it and why not really go for nice bright colors? As you can see over here on my left-hand side, look at these great variations of pinks and reds. They're really striking, they're really bold, and they really speak out. But more than anything else, they speak about South Africa. They speak about our climate and our light. Over here, we see these bright yellows, almost like an acid yellow color. Can you imagine using this in your home as an accent piece on a scatter cushion or a lampshade? Straight away, we're not expecting you to do the entire sofa, but just by adding some of this beautiful bright color, the entire space is going to be lit up. Another important factor is the actual pattern or the imagery that's on the fabric itself. And if we have a look back over here, we will see this beautiful use of the protea. In fact, let me show you right now. Here we see it on a more subdued background, but look at the protea. Protea obviously being our national flower, and what better way to show it than on an actual fabric. Imagine that sitting in your living room on a sofa. Talking about local imagery, if we have a look through this beautiful fabric and wallpaper book over here, we'll see the use of some novelty, something really different. This is one of South Africa's oldest publications, Drum Magazine. These images go all the way back to the 1950s. And this application here is actually a wallpaper. So it is a fabric and it still falls under the fabric category, but it's been put on a backing so that you can actually put it up on a wall. Walking around this amazing showroom, I found something you don't see every day. And that is on-trend fabrics, but for kids and for the youngsters. So nice to find something that isn't mass-produced like we see at all the mass retailers and all the big department stores. Instead, something that again is local, but also hand-printed. And over here is the range of the fabrics that I found. Just a small selection out of the massive selection that they actually have. But over here we see a whole lot of retro cars and motorbikes, almost taking inspiration from the wire ones that we see at the side of the road, instead of just a visual of it or a photograph of it. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And then for those that are a little bit more adventurous, we see the same kind of cars and motorbikes, as well as some typography, which can be used as accent pieces in the room. Again, it's not necessary to go and do the curtains and the bedspread and everything with the same fabrics, but rather maybe just utilize this for accent pieces like you would in your own lounge. And then there's a firm favorite of mine that I found, which I just think is so amazing. Again, taking a little bit of inspiration from the past, as we've spoken about before, the retro trend, but looking at an old toy, which is known as the Cupid doll. Something caught my eye as I walked around the corner, and this fabric stuck out. It's something you're not going to see every day. This here is for somebody that wants to be a little bit more adventurous and is into skulls and bones. The inspiration for this came from Mrs. Pless, one of the oldest skulls ever found, the beginning of human civilization, which was found in the cradle of humankind. So again, something that reflects back to our local heritage and our local surroundings. But for me, it's really just about something so different.
With so many unique, vibrant and fresh patterns, you can decorate your space and add some life with contrasting textures and colors to create the perfect balance, while keeping it interesting and eclectic.